Hey everybody, it's Brett from Moonstream Crypto, and today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum, Solana, the three leaders potentially, although one of these is severely underperforming, and take a look at the total market cap, give you guys a good market update, and look at my top 10 altcoins for this bull season. So right now we're looking at Bitcoin here. It looks like Bitcoin's making a run toward 100,000. There's quite a lot of shorts that are going to get liquidated there, and so we're looking for that price to go up in that region, probably going to pump up in this area, and then likely push down to around 90 to 92K where there's another region of liquidity, and then push up higher and take out new all-time highs fairly quickly. The market cycle lows are coming in next week around May 5th to the May 7th. That's what we're forecasting. So here we have Bitcoin hitting a sell block here right around 96K. So no surprise there. It's been pushing up, had a big buy money flow block right here. We can see the big news here, and what we can see in the charts is the 21-day crossing above the 50-day EMAs right there, and also pushing strongly back above this blue line, which is the 200-day simple moving average. Has been a good barometer, very strong barometer of Bitcoin's price over the years, and above it is bullish, below is bearish. So in the bull markets we tend to see price above that. We can also zoom back here a bit and see when price pushed back up and the 21 crossed the 50-day EMA, and then they crossed the 200 SMA. That's generally excellent time to get in. Back in October of 2023, we were advising members to get into a lot of AI coins, and some went up 600%. Like Injective. These arrows here are our early reversal indicator, which is one of our proprietary accidental discoveries, and this has been excellent on a weekly time frame, also signaling that we have put in a bottom. And on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin, price came down and wicked below, but fortunately held the 50-day or 50-week rather exponential moving average in green, and now we're back above the 21-day as well. So looking very strong, looking very good for Bitcoin. If we open this up here, our other proprietary indicators, the trend strength indicator crossing up above 20, that's the trigger, and that's also the confirmation. This is a momentum oscillator, also the confirmation of the early reversal indicator here. So whenever we see those two align, like back here in August of 2024, and then we went green again here, that's when we took off. So that's very bullish. Also our RSI Pro showing bullish divergence here, and we were telling members about that in April, around Monday, April 7th. So those three aligning, I've been saying to get back in these markets here for a couple weeks now, starting to look really good. I do think we're going to push back up and retest 110K in the near future, next couple weeks. So hold on to your hats for that. Looking pretty strong. If we jump over to the total market cap, let's take a look at this, because these are similar and act similarly in the markets, but what we want to watch out for on the daily is some severe selling pressure. Not so much on the weekly, which is good. We have big sell blocks down in this 52K range. We're not going back down there, I don't believe, possibly in the next bear market, but I don't think so. And what's also notable here is we're breaking up out of this downtrending parallel channel. These things either are going sideways up in a channel or downward in a channel. And so the fact that we've broken back above, we have that confirmation candle here, and we're into the third one. So this is now breaking into a new uptrending parallel channel. On the weekly time frame, the TSI also going green here, very bullish, and showing there's quite a bit more momentum toward the upside. And as we said, the RSI Pro. So anyway, we've covered that. Let's jump over and see what total market cap is looking like, and similar chart here. So we've already covered this, but there is quite a bit of sell pressure right up above where that old all-time high is on the total market cap. Previously in the last cycle, it was 3 trillion on the nose, and of course we had a lot of sell pressure here and push prices down. So we've got to clear that 3.62 trillion, and then we're kind of back above there in price discovery, kind of in the overall market. But very bullish, holding that 21-week EMA, also holding the 50-week EMA, so looking strong, and that trend strength indicator also turning higher, strong momentum oscillator that should continue up higher, as well as we had some bullish divergence all the way back here as well. So I've been bullish on this market, but cautious here for a couple of weeks. Now things are really looking good and ready to go. But I do want to touch on the sell blocks here. These are where the sellers are lined up, so we have quite a bit of red overhead on the total market cap. and more so than with Bitcoin. So that leads me to believe that a lot of this is ETH, and so we can also see this by going to total 2, and it's even more red, and that's taking Bitcoin out, leaving Ethereum in. And if we go to total 3, which excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's far less red here. So I think that this also points toward an altcoin rally in the cards. I borrowed this fractal from a previous kind of push in the markets, but we could certainly see something like this play out, and that would be very good for the altcoins. I do think that would be a very selective move, and a lot of these altcoins probably not coming back anytime soon, especially from the last cycle. Total DeFi also looking pretty strong. However, quite a bit of sell pressure overhead. I wouldn't mind seeing DeFi come back down into these buy block zones and then give it another push or put in a higher low. Right now, struggling around the 50-week EMA, the 50-day EMA on that's on probably a little bit overbought here with the TSI turning down. It's hard to say. I do think we kind of drift sideways and down in the overall markets until next week, around the time of the May 5th and the May 7th, sort of mid-cycle low, daily, weekly cycle low. Bitcoin dominance pushing higher, trying to break through the 65 to 66 level. Might have some trouble here. Now, certainly we've been higher than that in the past bull markets, but getting much higher than that, then we're looking for highs and money to flow out of Bitcoin into those alts. So we're kind of seeing that potentially setting up for that altcoin rally. I have been watching another study. We'll come back to the USDT dominance, which is an inverse correlative movement with Tether dominance, and I have another chart set up for that, so we'll save that for a minute. But I want to go through some of the coins here that have been moving. Bitcoin, of course, we covered. Solana, very bullish on Solana, and I do believe we're in this kind of a new upward trend channel where we'll see prices push up and be very tradable throughout here in this range. Also coming up and seeing some sell pressure around 170 in the midpoint of these red blocks. These are our proprietary signals. Again, you can learn more about them at cryptomastery.org/pro. Go watch that video. These are the best signals I've ever used. One of my partners is a quant engineer, ex-hedge fund trader, programmer, and trader. So you have all those combined. And the combination of these signals is really gives us an edge. It's like the Wizard of Oz. Everyone thought it was magic until they peeked behind the curtain and saw that it was actually machinery and pulleys. Well, we have similar advantage with that, similar alpha, so make sure you have those. And so with this, again, Solana above the 21 and 50-day EMAs, very bullish. Love to see this. Downward trending parallel channel is now broken and confirmed, and so that's very good to see. And then we had the bullish early reversal indicator coming out of a buy block right back here and around April 10th. This is when we were saying this looks really good, you guys. And we also had our TSI go green. Confluence is the name of the game. When we had these lining up, our bullish divergence, TSI green, early reversal indicator green, coming out of a buy block. This is where we were buying around the $100 range. Already up 50%, you guys. So these signals really give you a big edge. All right, so this is what I expect here to push up, pull back, and kind of zigzag all the way up to the old high at 300. And if we get above that in a price discovery zone, then I do imagine we'll break out into new highs and really take off, kind of like we did back in August of 2021. We first recommended Solana at $35 in our newsletter on August 1st and on a pullback, and then it just kept on going. So we're looking for a big move on Solana, not so much on Helium, not so much on Ethereum, rather, and we'll get to that in a minute. The next coin I want to cover is Helium. Huge potential here. Did a big write-up on this in our M3 Active Trader class this week and looked at the websites, the World Helium Map, because now they've segmented it out between the IoT side, and that's the Helium token, Internet of Things, and being able to power all these smart devices as well as cars going by and other various things like that, smart refrigerators, smart kitchens, etc. And then they have the other tab and another map for their mobile token, just announcing a deal with AT&T on the mobile token, and that's MOBILE, obviously, in that token. But overall, the whole company is going to benefit from these, and the distribution network that they're forming opens the pathways for other companies to do deals with them. And so I like companies that have strong utility. They have a monetization model. potential for big partnerships and venture-backed. And so Helium checks all the boxes there. So I'm breaking out of this mini downtrending channel here, but in an overall macro uptrending channel. And so if we go to a weekly, we can see this a little bit more clearly, and looking pretty good here. I would expect Helium can go up as high as like $20 in this bull run, which would be about not 10x, about, well, let's see, $4 to $10, so 2.5x, but I do think it can go quite a bit farther. With the right momentum. It's in the decentralized physical infrastructure sector, so that's also bullish and expecting big things based on the news coming out. If you do the math on that, partnership with AT&T, and the volume of potential members in the distribution network, if they can plug in other channels and other profit products within those channels, very profitable. And the partnership with AT&T, we're starting to see finally big real world companies and public companies partnering with leading blockchains. Very important. Another one we'll get to here in Filecoin is also in the deep end sector, but I want to talk about Stacks. Stacks is a project that makes Bitcoin better. Chart looks pretty good here. I'll clean up some of the noise and zoom out a bit, but also getting our early reversal indicators out of a buy block a couple weeks ago, and seeing a bit of overbought conditions here on the trend strength indicator. But I'm really looking at weekly charts. Weeklies where the momentum is stronger. It's more like following a cruise ship or a battleship, whereas the daily is more like a sailboat. It can turn and make sweeping turns, but it's really harder for those bigger, heavier ships to turn on a dime. A big money flow block on Stacks, finally bottoming with an ERI and TSI going green. So I don't care on the daily if we pull back a little bit. This big money flow block right here is part of our early reversal indicator pro. That's where big money came in, and they tend to protect the midpoints of these. If we look back here in Stacks, this big buy block and price will come down to that midpoint, but these buyers are wanting to protect those price levels. And so we do see that midpoint as a strong sort of safety zone. And so I think that Stacks probably going to push up higher into these higher targets. I have targets all the way up to $10, $5, $7.50, $10 in this range of the uptrending channel. So we'll have to see on that. But at current prices, around 84 cents, that's a possible 10x, you guys. So keep that on your radar. It does better when Bitcoin does better, and so hopefully we start seeing some strong moves from Bitcoin and Stacks in the going into the near future. Also, Ondo Finance, a lot of good things coming out for RWA projects. Ondo is one of the leading ones, and just coming out of the Ondo Summit. And it's also doing some things in the financial space and DeFi. So, this has the best of both worlds, putting in a higher low, coming out of this strong early reversal indicator on the weekly time frame, just starting to cross over on the weekly. So last time we saw that, let's go back here, saw a nice push up on Ondo Finance. So I'd be looking for a similar move here coming out of this, like this one, and that was a 280% move for that. So certainly we could see that coming up from the low point here up to the upper edge of the trade channel, 400% if we had bought down here where this arrow was. And so keep Ondo on your radar. I think that's a good one. Let's see. So that's the weekly chart of Ondo. Let's look at Aptos. Aptos also looking good with the trend strength indicator crossing above 20. And let's see. I need to turn off that. Okay, one second. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, we've got it back on there. And so essentially what we're looking at is let's see, I'm going to move that up top here. I got it out of order. The trend strength indicator is our momentum indicator, and we always look at that second when it aligns with the ERI, very powerful sign, especially crossing above that 20 line. So repeating theme here, a lot of these projects looking good, breaking out above of the downtrending channel. I love these patterns. So we have a second candle forming, confirming this is now going more likely to go up. So I like Ondo here. Looking at AIOZ, another interesting project in the AI sector. See the trend strength indicator going green. Big buy block coming in just the other day. So it's got a little bit of struggle to go ahead on the daily. Some sell pressure here, and that's basically all the people that were buying this breakout and want to sell and break even. I do believe it'll take that out. Might pull back down a little bit to retest the 21 and 50-day EMA crossing here. That's totally fine. I'm really looking at those weekly charts like I mentioned. And before we go, we'll pull up the monthly chart on Bitcoin, which looks very bullish here, leading us back into the bull section and last part of the bull run. So before I'm going to open this up here, Filecoin looking very strong here. I think it does have 45x potential if it can just get close to its old all-time high in the last cycle here, and that would be a 50% retracement from the high down to low. But we can see if we zoom out on this weekly, a lot of long-term support at around the $2.25 up to $3 range all the way through since 2018, and it's been holding that range nicely with double early reversal indicators here on the weekly, so looking very bullish. I like Filecoin as an excellent wild card. It reminds me of Phantom Coin, which we recommended in January of 2021 when it went up 185x or 18,525%. And so I don't know that we'll see that kind of flood. A 45x I think is doable this cycle, but if we really see this thing take off, I can see this either this cycle or next. 297, I'll call it 300x. It would take a tremendous boost in market cap, considering around $2.80 now, to go over 600. But stranger things have happened if the narrative is right and the money is right. And so Filecoin rather is competing with AWS. Huge potential space for decentralized file storage. So another great deep-in project along with Helium. So last one here is Sui. Sui looking good here on this weekly chart. Nice continual uptrending channel. Early reversal indicator. Big buy block here last week. A lot of buyers came in. Seeing a bit of sell pressure on the weekly time frame here. Want to see, but I think this will carry it through. The momentum is strong in that trend strength indicator, hence the name. And to see Sui back up around $6 to $8 for a nice double, very doable. And some are saying it's the next Solana. I don't think so, but it's got more potential and it's a good project. And so I'm not really going to get into OGN. These are some of these micro caps that we've been watching. But these are the top coins that I want to kind of put on your radar and call attention to. Let's take a quick look at this other study and look at that for a second. Okay, and here's my study for the path to 100 to 150K Bitcoin, as high as 200K. And by the way, if you like this content, you want to see more of this, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps us get the word out, and subscribe, turn on that bell notification. That way you'll always be alerted to these new studies and videos that we'll be doing more of, okay? Really appreciate that. So let's see, this is the same Fibonacci that we used to predict the top on the last market. So from the 2017 high to the low, exactly predicted that high on the 3.618 there at around 67,000. So with the same math, the same study, from the 2021 high to low 16.5 or so, that puts us at around 200K exactly on the 3.618. So interesting how these Fibonacci's do play out. The 1.618 was just over 100K. We did push and break that barely. I did expect that would be a difficult level, that big round number, just like I think 200K is going to be a really hard number to break through. But 150K, very doable. Now that we've pulled back to this trend line, and there's multiple bullish trend lines throughout its history. So we have this one going back to 2017, supporting through here in the COVID crash, and then back in this last cycle. So we have a new angle on the bull market there, and we're putting in a third upward angle, and potentially a fourth and final blow-off angle is what I'm kind of looking for. And so so far it hasn't validated. This is the fractal. This is the same sort of pattern here, just resized, and for the current cycle here, but doesn't mean it has to happen, but we're back on track with that, and certainly could see that, I think, with these 10, 11 factors I've been following that could lead us to 150 to 200K Bitcoin. Started this study back in 2023, and with 7 factors, we keep adding to it. The big one is flight to quality, pensions, 401ks, sovereign wealth funds. That could certainly drive things quite a bit higher. Won't go through all these. You can find that whole study on TradingView. Just Google Brett Fogel on TradingView. This arrow here, I do expect to see if we break 150K, probably do a throw over around 165K and on some kind of a short squeeze, and then probably see about a 20% pullback here, maybe a little deeper to this trend line, and then see potentially another push higher. But I do think that happens quicker, probably be all over by August, September. The cycle is 2 months early. We hit all-time highs 2 months before the halving, and so it's a left translated cycle. So, where we would normally be hitting highs October, November, I think that it's reasonable to sort of get ahead of the curve before the music stops on the musical chairs. So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about here. Let's look at one other thing real quick. And this, of course, is the monthly chart of Bitcoin. And I want to call your attention to, so the ERI, the arrow here, has only triggered 4 times in the history of Bitcoin, each at the very bottom. And so we were calling for, I was saying to buy the market back in December of 2022, right in here, when there was blood in the streets and we had launched our new N3 Active Trader course. With this candle, the next monthly candle here was when we were pounding the table to get back in. Our early reversal indicator fired bullish engulfing candle. But if we go back in time, the ERI has only fired 4 times in the history of Bitcoin. If I go to the longer term data set here on Bitstamp, we can see, just to show you, that if you did nothing else but buy when this turned green on the monthly time frame, we got back here in 2019, back here in 2015 at the lows, and then all the way back here, if I were to go to a longer time frame, there was the 4th arrow there. Now these big green blocks signify money flow, so this is bullish for that. And let me make sure I'm getting on this right chart. I think it was this one we were looking at. So this is the monthly chart in Binance. Lots of buyers here, big money flow over the last 4 or 5 months. It doesn't register on the smaller time frames, but we saw the same kind of thing on this candle, which held price all through there. I firmly believe we're going higher from here, and these buyers are going to protect and respect these buy levels. You can see they already are with this green block. These are the limit buy orders. So again, on that monthly time frame. So let's see if we wanted to jump out here and look at one more thing I want to show you, and then we'll kind of wrap things up. But let me just pause for a second. And just on the 1 hour, 4 hour chart of Bitcoin here. So yeah, broke through this 96K level with relative ease, but we do see the sellers lining up in here. And so if they can push it up and get it right around as 98K, might short squeeze some of the other shorts and push it up to 100K. And then I think they'll roll it over and have a few more wobbles here as we get back above 100K and potentially on the way to new all-time highs. So that's all I want to share with you today. And certainly there's more resistance up in the 105K range. I won't firmly believe this thing's rocketing higher till we're back above 110K, where we have lots of sell pressure on those daily and longer term time frames. So again, if you like the content, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if you want to see more like this and any different formats, and we'll do it. You can learn more about us at moonstream.io, and make sure to find out about our new Moonstream Academy, which is over at moonstreamacademy.com/start. That's very helpful for beginners, intermediates. It's an interactive community. You can ask me questions. I'll be doing video updates, and also you can reach out with private chats, video updates, a 10 module training on how to trade better in the classroom. So make sure to check that out. In fact, let me pull that up real quick. And this looks like this. If you go again to moonstreamacademy.com/start, this is our newest addition to our offerings here. Quick video here you can watch, and it's 50% off for the time being, $49 a month. That's going to double very soon, and with the amount of members we have in chat and very helpful videos and things like that, and market updates, I do videos like these in there on a more regular basis. So go over and check that out at moonstreamacademy.com/start. And for some of our other services, you can learn more about us at moonstream.io. All right, take care, everybody. Good luck. Again, I think next week we really start to push higher out of the daily, weekly cycle low, and then it's off to the races. So maybe one of your last chances to buy Bitcoin below 100K. So keep that in mind, and it's time to really get in these markets, because I think we're going higher. Okay, cheers, everyone. Bye.